When Emily found the envelope labeled "Open only if I'm dead" under the mattress in the guest room, she knew her family would never be the same again. Inside wasn't a will, a love confession, or even a farewell note. It was a list, 7 names, 7 dates, and 7 reasons why each of them deserved to be erased from her life forever. At the bottom, scrawled in shaky handwriting, "They stole everything from me. Now I'll take what they cherish most." Emily Walker had always thought of her Aunt Linda as eccentric but fair. She lived alone in an old house on the outskirts of Salt Lake City, surrounded by cats, dusty books, and memories she guarded like treasure. Never married, childless, but always generous, especially with Emily's mother, her sister. Linda had paid for Emily's college, helped with her first apartment rent, and even gave her a car when hers broke down at the worst possible moment. But everything changed 2 months before the funeral. Emily had driven over in mid-October unannounced, as always. Linda used to say, "My door is open, just like my heart." But this time, the door was locked. When Emily knocked, concerned, Linda finally opened it, clutching a teacup, her eyes wide as if she'd seen a ghost. "You weren't supposed to come," she said, not stepping aside. "Aunt, what's wrong?" Linda stayed silent. Then, reluctantly, she let her in, but acted strangely, cutting conversations short, glancing over her shoulder as if someone else were in the house. She refused to talk about her health, her finances, even the weather. The only thing she said with intensity was, "Watch your own. They're not who they seem." Emily didn't understand. She went home. 6 weeks later, the local sheriff called. Linda was found dead. Cause cardiac arrest. It looked natural. But something unreadable flickered in the sheriff's eyes when he added, "We found something in her room. You might want to come collect her things in person." That's how Emily ended up in the empty house, standing before a closet full of dusty dresses and a drawer stuffed with old prescriptions and bank statements. And at the very last moment, just as she was about to leave, she found the envelope. The one. The list was short, but each name struck straight to the heart. Martha Walker, Emily's mother. Jason Walker, her uncle, Martha's younger brother. Karen Lindsay, a cousin. Greg Turner, Linda's late niece's widower. Susan Harper, childhood friend and neighbor. Richard Crow, the family lawyer. Patricia Morgan, former employee of Linda's charity foundation. Beneath each name was a date and a brief phrase. Martha Walker, July 12, 2023, sold my inheritance to pay my son's debt. Jason Walker, September 3, 2023, used my savings without asking. Karen Lindsay, October 28, 2023, called me crazy to seize the house. At first, Emily thought it was the rambling of a confused old woman. But then she noticed, every date matched real events. In July, her mother had paid for her brother Mike's medical bills after his accident. In September, Uncle Jason had bought a new boat and claimed it was on credit, though bank records showed he paid in full with cash. She locked the envelope in her bag and drove straight to her mother's house. Martha lived in a comfortable suburban home she'd bought before her husband passed. Emily didn't mention the letter. She just asked, "Mom, remember when you paid for Mike in July? Where did that money come from?" Her mother froze, stirring soup. "Sold some stocks," she said uncertainly. "Remember? I told you." "No, you didn't," Emily replied. "And you didn't own any stocks." But Aunt Linda had an $85,000 deposit. It vanished that same day. Martha turned pale. She offered. She said, "Let Mike live, I've lived long enough." "I didn't ask. I just..." "But you didn't tell me. You didn't pay it back. You didn't even thank her." The silence was heavy. Then Martha whispered. "She started acting strange in October. Called at night, said people were watching her. Said we'd all betrayed her. I thought it was just age. But now, I'm afraid she did something." "What if she wasn't crazy?" Emily asked quietly. "What if she just decided to get even?" Emily returned to Linda's house. She took not just personal items, but an old laptop from the desk drawer. The password was simple, her mother's birthday. Inside was a folder labeled Plan. She opened it. It wasn't a victim list, it was an instruction manual. November 12th, letter to Karen. Remind her she signed documents under pressure. Threaten lawsuit. November 19th, call lawyer Crow. Tell him I know about his Cayman Islands accounts. If he doesn't return my documents, I'll report him to the IRS. November 25th, visit Greg. He thinks I forgot about his debt. But I know where he lives. And where his daughter goes to school. But the most chilling part was the final entry. December 1st, if by this date no one has apologized or returned what they took, then the finale begins. They'll lose what they value most. Not money. Not possessions. Their reputation. Their future. Linda never made it to December 1st. She died on November 28th. But the letters had already been sent. Emily checked the mailbox at the house. Empty. So email. She logged into the account and found 7 drafts. Unsent. She breathed a sigh of relief. Then she saw the auto-send folder. An automated rule was set. If Linda didn't log in for 72 consecutive hours, the emails would send to all 7 addresses, and a copy would save to her cloud archive. Her last login, November 27th, 10:14 p.m. The emails went out on November 30th. Karen and Greg cracked first. Karen called Emily the next day frantic. She said I forged her signature. That she has security footage. But I just wanted to help her move to assisted living. I thought she'd agree. Did you ask? Emily said coldly. No, she was sleeping. I figured, since she'd mentioned being tired of the house. Emily said nothing. She knew Aunt Linda hated nursing homes. She'd once said, better to die in my own armchair than waste away in someone else's room. Greg sent a letter. He was returning the $30,000 he'd borrowed from Linda in 2021. He hadn't known how else to pay for his daughter's surgery. He'd just forgotten to repay it and then was too ashamed to admit it. But the real storm hit when lawyer Richard Crowe received his letter. He wasn't just the family attorney, he managed the foundation Linda had created in memory of her late sister. The foundation supported children with autism. And in her letter, Linda accused him of embezzlement, funneling funds to offshore accounts under the guise of administrative fees. Crowe didn't apologize. He sued for posthumous defamation. But Emily found copies of his transfers and handed them to the district attorney. Within a week, the foundation was shut down. Crowe lost his license. His family moved out of town. Emily's mother wept. I didn't want this. I was ashamed to ask you, and Linda had the money. I thought she'd forgive me. She would have, Emily said. But you never gave her the chance. Emily gathered all 7 of them in Linda's house. She wanted you to sit here, she said, and look each other in the eye, knowing you betrayed someone who loved you. No one wanted to come. But they all did. She played a recording, Linda's last voice memo, made the day before she died. The voice was weak, trembling, but clear. I'm not vengeful. I'm just tired of being kind while others treat it as weakness. I gave you everything, my time, my money, my patience. And you took it without saying thank you. Now I ask only this. Give it back. Not the money. Your honor. Admit you were wrong. And if you can't know this, my death won't stop the truth. It's already on its way. Silence stretched for a long time. Then Martha stood, walked to Linda's portrait on the wall, and whispered, I'm sorry. One by one, the others apologized not to Emily, but to the empty armchair where Aunt Linda used to sit. Emily stayed in the house. She sold the car, closed the bank accounts, and transferred the remaining balance to the re-established foundation, now under honest management. She didn't seek revenge. But she didn't forget either. Every time someone from the family called, she asked one question. Are you being honest with me? And if she heard even a hint of hesitation in their voice, she hung up. Because now she knew, revenge isn't a scream. Revenge is silence, where the betrayer finally hears the sound of their own guilty heart.